Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully well and hopefully good. Good morning, Daily Bonus. Good morning, good morning. Steve, hello. Good morning. Sorry I wasn't on yesterday. Was short-handed. A little short-handed here. But we got a lot to cover. It should be an interesting morning. There's a lot moving, a lot kind of going on today. Well, there's been a lot going on all week, but, you get the point. Good morning, good morning. So we'll get rocking and rolling here in a second. So we're going to touch on, did I not change the title? Nah, whatever. Honestly, at this point, what's it even matter? So we're going to look at some of the most popular stocks that are on Discord today amongst the retail market. And then we are also going to touch on gold and silver. We don't really need to talk about the coronavirus. It's pretty much clear, cut, and dry. It's as we've been saying for a couple weeks. Looks like Q1 of 2020 is going to be pretty shitty. All right, perfect. Let's get going. So, I will start with, we'll start with some of the most popular ones here. So, we got BXRX. So this was a stock that I noticed this morning popping up. So it's it's up pretty big here this morning. It's a daily chart. No wonder why. Yeah, so we got this stock up pretty big this morning, BXRX. Looks like it had some news about FDA approval for something. Okay, it's not like your typical penny stocks. It doesn't appear that way. It's already got a monster divergence going into the open and into this morning. So right now it's on the sell side. I probably wouldn't really be too much of a buyer here. You'll probably see some dip buys on this for sure, but right now we're starting to go into the sell side of the cycle on BXRX. Will it be amazing? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know the flow to this stock. I haven't had a whole lot of time to research this morning. But you can see it can move mountains. We've gone from 8 to 11 today, so it's a good 2-point jump, almost a 3-point jump. Really, the only way I go about trading this is if you're off a support system. I really wish the freaking mouse worked on my other computer. That'd make my life easier. But anyways, this is a very, very popular talked about stock this morning. It is a biotech stock, it looks like, yeah. So there's always a higher degree of risk when it comes to a biotech. They always seem to trade really irrational. Am I going to trade this one myself? Probably not, but this is a very commonly talked about stock this morning. But I did want to point out that we're on the bear side of this cycle. The 5-minute chart, I believe right now, has a monster bearish divergence. So to see that we're selling down right now makes perfect sense. And I just don't see this having a super amazing day as of right now with the way it's moving. We are going more into the buy side of this move as this keeps going lower. So watch it. I mean, you have some trends kind of coming in play right now that are probably going to break. But if this price can get back down into this previous dip area, that's where you might be able to consider kind of a buy on that. It's possible that the live streams haven't been working for you because one day I wasn't online. I mean, Monday we weren't online. And then one day I didn't even stream. So yeah, that probably sounds about right. Okay. All right, next one on the list here is DPW. So this penny stock popped up this morning. And as you can see, it's already starting to fade down. So this is probably going to be a no-go for you guys. We have just a straight-up pop, and it's already faded all the way down. This is probably, again, going to be a no-go. Probably not going to want to trade that, so we'll just hurry up and pass on from that. Another popular one, of course, is Tesla. I mean, why wouldn't it be popular? It was the stock of the year. This is an interesting setup. You should probably watch Tesla long. I probably wouldn't be short on that. Well, definitely not short. We do have a cup. And you have your handle. So you're into a cup and handle formation. So you're really just watching this for a breakout. back up to the previous high of 968, where you'd most likely see a little bit of resistance. Yeah, I can't do a full analysis on it because don't have my other computer, but ultimately I wouldn't be short on that for now. It just doesn't make sense to be. You have a cup and handle formation, so you're either on standstill or you're long bias, and you're only on the short side or the sell side if this handle starts to break down to the downside, probably below like 875. That's where you'd probably shift your momentum back to the bear side. Now, something that is very important that you guys have to pay attention to. Now, this is something else I was watching on, Tesla. So we have kind of come down. We retraced quite a bit there. Then we held support, and we squeezed up the early short sellers. I was almost one of them. Thank God I wasn't. So we squeezed up the shorts now. And we have the move going up now is has far less momentum than the previous move up, which makes sense. I mean, it should. The first one was the ultimate bubble move. And now we're kind of pushing back up towards the all-time high. Now, this is what we're watching for. If Tesla peaks into a new all-time high to this degree, we kind of do this, and then we push up like that into an all-time high and have lower momentum, there's a good chance you see a nasty down move come in, and that could signify your actual top. So there's usually two things that happen in a move when you kind of go straight up. Either you go straight up and you pull back one time, do a slight bounce, and then crash. Or you go up, you pull back hard, and then you bounce hard over previous highs with a bearish divergence, then you roll over. So we still have the potential that this thing rolls over in the shorter aspect of time. So that's what I'm watching for now, is see if this thing bounces up through the previous high, maybe closer to the $1,000 mark with a bearish divergence. And if by some means, some magical means, people still want to buy it, then I would be impressed. If we go into a new all-time high towards 1,000 with the bearish divergence and it doesn't roll over, I'd be extremely surprised. But I'm still on the bear side until I see this either break into a new high or not break into a new high. That's pretty much where I'm at. I want to see it up into a new high with lower momentum, and that point I would probably say we're going to have a nasty pullback. So we'll see. But there's also been a lot of good news surrounding Tesla. So for me, I'm not even trading it. I'm just watching it because of this. That is why I'm watching that. Because of that right there. You see that lower momentum? If this stock keeps going up into a new high here, and it looks like this, fast down, fast up, lower momentum, short. So that's kind of what I'm watching there. Whether it plays out or not really is irrelevant. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Is this the end? Is it the end of all times? No, it's not the end of all times, but I mean, people are going to die. People have already been dying. That sounded really, really bad. I shouldn't even have said that, but yeah, I mean, it's not looking good. There was, hold on. Ah, shit, my computer doesn't work over. That's right. But there was a new post. There was something on Twitter from, I think it was a Global Times on Twitter. You can check them out. But Global Times on Twitter did mention that the military bases in, I think it was South Korea. I could be wrong, but anyway, I think it was South Korea. The military bases have now said it's an extreme danger with coronavirus, and they're starting to block down things or something. And they found a cluster of like 80 people infected in a church somewhere. And so, as I mentioned before, it probably is China was just the tip of the iceberg. And so we've gotten to the United States, you're pretty much in every single country now. I think I read there was like 5,000, almost 6,000 people that were told to be under self-quarantine in Los Angeles or just California altogether. So that's not good. So however you want to look at it, it's just not a good situation. There's really nothing good about it. Nothing good. What they're pushing right now for good news surrounding the virus is that in China, the new cases has started to decline. But that's also because of the nature of how they're reporting new cases. So again, you still really don't have any true 100% concrete, valid news coming out of China that you can believe. But one thing's for sure, we've seen it spread. So enough of the fear monger. I'm not even fear monger. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm just telling you what mainstream media wasn't going to tell you, right? I told you that. I told you what mainstream media was going to tell you before they told it to you, and now I'm just kind of reporting what we've already have known. So another thing, I just saw this today. The car sales in China have dropped by 92%. 92%. Is it true or not? I don't know, but 92% doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all. But not a surprise. I mean, when you put your whole country on lockdown and claim that it's not as bad as it sounds, but it sounds kind of bad when the whole country's on lockdown, yeah, you could expect that maybe your car sales would slump by 92% because there's no reason to drive a car if you're not supposed to go anywhere. I mean, what's the point? All right, car sales should drop. So strong chance we're going to see a very, I don't want to say very bad, but we're not going to see a good quarter one of 2020. And we're already high in the current market cycle, so it makes sense that we'd start seeing some selling pressure now into the market, maybe preparing for the quarter one reports. Okay. So my TOS has been fixed. I'm not having any issues on mine. I mean, there's always the 1 minute delay, but for the most part, my problems are pretty much gone. So I'm going to make an updated video about that, just kind of sharing my experience how my stuff's fixed. But I know that other people are still having issues, but pretty much my TOS is pretty much good to go. After I complained like a little Sally, I'm good. All right, so that's Tesla for you. Now I want to touch on Roku. Roku is going to be one of my number one watches. See, like, look at right now. But then again, yeah, I was going to say. So this is going to be one of my number one watches. Going to be watching Roku. I really want... I want it short because I know you could have a massive breakdown. So I'm just going to be patient with this. Basically, put it this way: I'm on the fence. I'm on a long and I'm on a short. It really depends on which way volume picks the move. So we've seen increased selling pressure. Long story short, if we can get a break below like 120, you could see just an absolute tank on Roku. So that's really just what I'm watching. I'm watching a big short. Hopefully there's a big short on Roku. If not, doesn't really matter. But that's pretty much what I'm watching is a big down move on Roku today. I think today could really set in for a strong down move on Roku. I could be wrong, but we filled the gap. We faded down. We've been stair stepping, right? So look, we kind of dropped and then we did, hold on. You drop and then you kind of pop up like this. And then you kind of just down, right? And then you go sideways and then down. And then you're kind of sideways, and I'm looking for down, big down. So we'll see, but that's going to be one of the plays for me there on Roku, is just kind of watching Roku short bias. I like that. I mean, as bad as it sounds, I'm already feeling sick myself. Yeah, not good. But no, seriously, I do kind of have like a dry cough, and my fiance's downstairs in the bed looking like a zombie. She looks sick. I need to call CDC. It's not looking good. No, but seriously, she's actually pretty sick. So I'm hoping it's not that. But I'm a young, spunky man. Maybe I can kick it out of my system really quick. So I'm going to be watching Roku. That'll be a fun one. Yeah, Amir. So again, that's exactly a thing that's happening for sure. Maybe I might make an in-depth video on regression lines. Maybe. Lunar cycles and markets. I really couldn't. I mean, I could tell you about market cycles. I don't think I could touch on lunar cycles though. Thank you. Thanks, Nelson. I appreciate that. So let's go into the next topic of discussion, which some of you guys might not like, but I'll make it quick. So just want to touch on gold. So here's gold, just ripping faces off, as we kind of mentioned it would most likely do. So that's good. So I've been, it doesn't matter what I've been doing. Long story short, gold is performing extremely well. And pretty much just have price targets on gold for about 1,900 to 2,000 an ounce right now. So you should see a lot of gold mining stocks picking up. You should maybe even see some silver mining stocks picking up. So long story short, the play right now, bull market's probably going to be in golds and silvers. If you're invested in gold ETFs, I'm in a miners ETF GDX. So if you're looking at GDX, or if you're invested and you're maybe looking at GDX right now and you're going, oh man, look at gold, it's just flying through the roof, but GDX is going nowhere. That's okay, because you got to remember that it's an ETF. There's more things involved in the ETF than just the price of gold. And that when you're looking at something like a GDX miners ETF, long story short, they're going to start mining gold a lot now, right? When the prices of gold are low, there's really no incentive to mine it because you're just going to get more gold for a lower price. But now that the prices of gold are starting to skyrocket and we got price targets of about $2,000 an ounce and more potentially, gold mining companies are going to start mining gold like crazy so they can get more of it and start to push it out at higher prices when it's skyrocketing. So there's probably going to see a pickup in GDX and some of the miners ETFs, but maybe a little bit slower than gold because, again, they're companies. They're not spot price gold, but they're companies. So until those companies really start mining a bunch of it and pushing it off their books, you're not going to see as big of a return there, but you're still going to see some good movement there, most likely. So gold and silver is a strong play right now. You're probably a little bit late in the move to gold in terms of, like actual gold. Like if you look at GLD, I mean, it's already crossed and it's cycling really nicely. So I think you're a little bit late there on gold. It will still move up, but I'm just saying in terms of like you're not at the most particular best buy as of right now. Probably could still make money on it, but you're just putting yourself into a little bit of a higher risk entry if you were to jump on ship now because you're just late. That's it. So still keep an eye on them, golds and silver. Silver still hasn't popped yet. I would say silver is probably a little bit of a lower risk. I don't even say lower risk, high reward, but silver hasn't yet started ripping. So we're still coming out of the bull flag. So if you're going to look to try and get on any sort of precious metals play, you're probably going to want to take a look at silver. Arguably, that's where most of my positions at is in silver. I think altogether I probably have about 70 grand diversified into silver and golds right now. So I think silver is still a play where we can see some upside because we haven't yet fully exploded out of that bull flag. So for what it's worth, okay? So yeah, you guys can ride those. Those are going well. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Plug, please. Plug is Garbo, but I'll take a look. FTCH will have ER soon. Opinions. So there's really two ways to go about it. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what their earnings looks like. I have no idea how well the company's doing. But one thing's for sure, you can always trade it after the report comes out. The first thing you want to do if you're gonna trade an earnings report, really you just want to try and figure out what the options market is doing. Basically, this is what I would say. If you want to go about trading their earnings to make profit, then you're going to want to look at the implied move for their earnings and then just create an option spread around that. I really can't go into too much detail on it, but that's basically it. Basically, figure out what the implied move is figure out what the implied move will be for earnings and then play around that, because the likelihood that it goes or exceeds the implied move, it's not going to happen. So sell a sucker's bet to somebody who thinks FTCH earnings is going to blow out, which it most likely won't, and then you'll just basically steal their money is basically the best way I could put that. Okay. So yeah, we'll take a look at Plug, good old Pluggy. I would probably say you're definitely late. It's really not a buy. You could maybe do some dip buy kind of scalping, but if you're going to look to ride any sort of momentum, you're too late. And why is that? Because again, we had a dip and then we consolidated and then you came out of a bull flag, right? You came out of this kind of bull flag scenario and you had your momentum. So everybody buying here is selling here, right? Everybody buying here sold here and is selling here. So while you're trying to buy here, you're just buying into what everybody's already selling. Probably not the best play. Yeah, FCEL kind of did pretty well over the past, not too long. We even mentioned this one like a week ago as a long play too. So hopefully some people got on that. So gonna be watching Roku today. The gold and silver, I'm still long on those plays. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much just it. Any other earnings plays that come out today, you could keep an eye on. We had Zillow report yesterday, Stamps report yesterday, Domino's, L Brands, Six Flags. I mean, all sorts of companies reported yesterday. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got for you guys this morning, unless there's something else you guys have. Yeah, you know what, Mr. Custom, you're right. I know that Roku can fake you out. So just because and that's the other thing is I would like to see it short, but I'm understanding that it does like to do those fakey squeeze days. So if the short doesn't happen, then I'd be long on it. That's basically it. If it doesn't break down, it'll probably squeeze, right? Because if I'm thinking short, right, and a lot of the other markets thinking short, then there's a lot of people to squeeze up. So, I am mindful of that for sure. But yesterday, it was briefly, I haven't checked yet today, but yesterday, briefly, we had a break below one of the lower, just slightly. We had a break below one of the lower trend deviations. So, we're not supposed to break it, but if we do, all hell will break loose. That's the point. Is we're actually not meant to break down, but if we do, all hell will break loose. So that's the point. Is that, yeah, we're not meant to break down on Roku, but if we do, not gonna be looking good. All right. How do you get the RSI graph? You go to your studies location on Thinkorswim, which is this beaker thingy here. I literally just did a video on RSI, probably the best video on YouTube. Okay, maybe not the best video on YouTube. Probably the worst video out there. That's why it only got so little views. No, but I put out probably I would say one of the strongest RSI videos to YouTube. Not surprising. It doesn't have that many views, but that's okay because, whatever. But yeah, I just put out a video about RSI. You'll see it if you go through like my recent videos. I'll have a bunch of thumbs up on the thumbnail. Watch that. That will show you exactly the proper way to use RSI. If you come across anybody's video, including mine from earlier days where we made a video about RSI being oversold, overbought, that's the basic understanding. It's not wrong, but you don't want to trade RSI based on high, low, over 70, under 30. Everybody's video on YouTube that claims that, it's all wrong anyways. They're not wrong in a sense that's how RSI is perceived, but they're completely wrong in the sense that that's not how you use RSI to trade. So it's just the most basic foundation of RSI and not to be used for trading. The RSI video that I posted recently, again with the yellow thumbs up on the thumbnail, 100% accurate. That is the way that you're going to want to be using RSI for trading. And actually, in that video, we were saying that AMD and AMD and the SPY were in bearish divergences. So we were calling for a pullback and a correction on AMD because of the divergence, and on the SPY, basically the market, because of a divergence. And we're starting to see kind of some selling coming in. Maybe it gets worse, maybe it doesn't, but we still have bearish divergence signals on the market and on AMD. So, and AMD and SPY are both high in their cycles right now. So, kind of makes perfect sense. So, I think we're going to see some selling coming into the market and onto a stock like AMD here pretty soon. And maybe a lot of other stocks as well. Yeah, that's probably it. True. I don't pedal to the YouTube algorithm. That's a fact. It would be nice though. It would be nice. I would love to have 500,000 subscribers and then, make like 50 grand a month off YouTube. I mean, that would be awesome. I'm deserving of it. I mean, I treat my fiance good. I treat my niece and nephew good. My parents love me. I mean, I do great things. I mean, I was a little shit, not too long ago. I made bad, but YouTube gods, come on, I'm worthy. So, what time is it? 8:58. Yeah, I don't really have anything more for you. Oh, last thing. Oh, yes, the last thing before I go. Some of you guys may not know, maybe some do, but the bond market. Yes. The recession sign, the all-fearing inversion curve in the bond market. It's been screaming its fucking head off, okay, for some time now. It's just getting much worse. So, yeah. And then, whoa, look, we got some news here. The Atlantic Fed Press sees GDP at 2 to 2.25%. All right. The Atlantic Fed says short-term impact from coronavirus, but a recovery. Well, you're late to that, Fed. We've been saying that for a couple weeks. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. But anyways, the bond market, the yield curves on our bonds are flashing the recession signal. Pretty bad. So, I mean, do we go into one? I don't know. What's it matter? But again, right now there's more things pointing down, I think, than up for the first time in quite a while. So yeah, I need better thumbnails, more clickbaity. Definitely. I know, really, there's a lot of things that I could do better with YouTube, but I struggle. I do. I don't know. Maybe I don't have that creativeness to me, that young whippersnapper. I mean, maybe I do just gotta go buy a Corvette. Maybe that'll fix all my problems. All right, guys, everybody have a good rest of your day. I will not see you tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday. Also, if anybody would like to join our podcast, feel free. I think the link is in the description. I honestly have no clue. But if you would like to join in our podcast and be a guest and you can talk with me, we can talk trading. You guys can share your experience or anything extremely cool that you have to share with our viewers. Feel free. Go to our most recent podcast. You can go to our YouTube page and then click into the videos and then go to playlist and then find podcast. And then in the links or in the description of the podcast videos, you will find a link that takes you to a Google form that you put your name and information in and it'll contact you and then we can hop on just like this with this mic, yellow. And then we will have a conversation. And then that will get posted to YouTube. So if you guys would like to join that, feel free. I would love to have you. All right? Everybody have a great rest of your Friday and a good rest of your weekend. I will see you Monday morning when half the entire planet has been infected by coronavirus and our stock market crashes. How about that? All right, good stuff. Everybody take care. Have a great day.